So hi everyone, welcome back. I was looking at the idea, and I was reading from a lesson that the sole responsibility of a teacher of God, the sole responsibility of a Course in Miracles teacher, sole responsibility of you, right, in your awakening, is to accept the atonement for yourself. There's no other responsibility. No one can do this for you. You're gonna have to do that. But once that's done, as he so beautifully points out, that's the end of choice. Because choice is simply the idea that you don't know who you are, that you've denied your own identity. And here's how this is worded. Listen to this. He says, I will accept the atonement for myself. Here's the end of choice. For here we come to a decision to accept ourselves as God created us. Because that's all that means. Accepting the atonement for yourself means accept yourself as God created you. Not what you've made of yourself, because it has nothing to do with what you truly are, right? But accepting the atonement for yourself, that is your responsibility and your only responsibility, right? You cannot do it for the other guy. You can only do it for yourself. That's besides the fact that there really isn't another guy, right? You people your world with images, right? I love how he uses the word people as a verb, right? You people your world with images that have no reality, that are in reality are not even there, right? So no, it's your responsibility to accept that for yourself. And he says, what is choice except uncertainty of what we are? I love it. It's an entirely new way of looking at it. The world would maybe say, oh, well, of course I got choice. I need to be able to choose, right? I got free will. No, choice is uncertainty about what you are. There is no doubt that is not rooted here. There is no question but reflects this one. There is no conflict, listen to this, that doesn't entail the single, simple question, what am I? All your conflict, all your doubt, all your questions simply arise from the idea that you don't know who you are. You denied your own identity. That's an amazing idea, right? And then he says, yet who could ask this question, right? What am I? Except one who has refused to recognize himself, right? Everything knows what it is. Everything in the universe knows what it is. So do you. But having denied your identity, you now kind of pretend that you don't know who you are, right? And you've covered it over with layers of thoughts that are not true. And now you're going to have to, again, right, let your mind be corrected so that what you are can be revealed to you. It says the only thing that can be surely known by any living thing is what it is. From this one point of certainty, it looks on other things as certain as itself. I love that. It's the reason you live, right? It says, what is life except to be yourself, and what but you can be life instead? I love it, right? And then he goes on to see that it makes no sense not to know what you are. He says, he merely states that he is not himself, and therefore, being something else becomes a questioner of what that something else is. Yet he could never be alive unless he knew the answer. If he asks as if he does not know, right? It seems like a sincere question, what am I? Right? But listen to this. Yet if he asks as if he does not know, it merely shows that he doesn't want to be the thing he is. Now listen, this is a tough course, right? You're being confronted with your own denial. You're being asked to go beyond what you're being accustomed, right? Get out of your comfort zone. This is going to be a confrontation, A Course in Miracles. This is not some lovey-dovey, good feel course. You're going to be confronted with your own denial. But that's where your progress is being made, right? He has accepted it because he lives, has judged against it, this is you, right? And has denied its worth, and has decided that he doesn't know the only certainty by which he lives. That's exactly what it is. You know perfectly well what you are. And yet, having decided against it, you now pretend you don't know, but this is the only thing by which you live. What an amazing idea. And it says, Atonement remedies, listen to this. Atonement remedies the strange idea that it is possible to doubt yourself and be unsure of what you really are. That's it, right? It reestablishes your true identity in God as a son of God, right? As one with source. What an amazing idea, huh? This is the depth of madness, right? Not knowing what you are makes no sense whatsoever. Everything in the universe knows what it is except the human condition. And yet that what that tells me is the human condition is not real. It's an unreal condition of denial of identity. Huh? Because it is an unreal condition. Because everything knows perfectly what it is. You know, a giraffe knows perfectly well what it is. It has no identity problem. Huh? Yet it is the universal question of the world, which is true. Everyone here is, right, asking the question, what am I? In some form. What does this mean except the world is mad, right? And then listen to the next line. Love this line. One of these key lines for me in the Course in Miracles. Nothing the world believes is true. And again, here you're being confronted with the uncompromising nature of A Course in Miracles, because maybe you'll go like, well, some things the world believe are true, right? No, nothing the world, nothing that the world believes is true. Listen to this. I love this. It is a place whose purpose is to be a home where those who claim they do not know themselves can come to question what it is they are. Right? You came here to question what you are. Right? Now you pretend that you don't know who you are. Again, right? This is a confrontation, isn't it? Maybe you go like, well, no, that can't be that way. I'm finding out still. Right? You're going to come with all your defenses. And he's going to see right to it and say, no, you know perfectly well who you are. You're just constantly denying it. Right? So again, accepting one for myself remedies the strange idea that you don't know who you are. Right? It's the end of choice. Once you accept that, you know perfectly well who you are. Now listen to this, how he says this. He says, and they will come again until the time Atonement is accepted and they learn it is impossible to doubt yourself and not to be aware of what you are. It's impossible. It's not that, well, I can do it, but then, no, it's impossible. I love it. Only acceptance can be asked of you, for what you are is certain. That's what it is. Of course, what you are is certain. You know perfectly well who you are. But having denied against it, it now seems like a sincere thing to ask the question, what am I? I don't know what I am. Or, well, I am this, but in truth I am so, again, these are all defenses. They have nothing to do with what you truly are. So I love the confrontation. I love the dislodgement. I love the necessity, right, to get out of your comfort zone, to let go of all your defenses, and to accept for a moment that you truly don't know what you are, right? And to come with wholly empty hands unto your God into this very moment where you have to just really stand for a moment in your uncertainty and say, like, I don't know what I am, right? And ask, and in all sincerity, ask to be shown, right? Don't put your thoughts, don't write your thoughts on this world, don't put your ideas in this very moment, but just come for a moment without all your ideas, without all your preconceived notions, without all your beliefs, and stand there for a moment, because that's the most uncomfortable moment to stand in, where you have to let go of everything that you believe, right? And let yourself tell you about yourself. Let yourself be shown what you truly are. Read this lesson if you have a moment today. It's an incredible lesson. I will accept your moment for myself. It's your responsibility as a teacher of God, as a Course in Miracles teacher, as an awakening consciousness, to accept that for yourself. I love you. Have a great, great day wherever, whenever you are. And I'll see you everywhere.